The water you drink today has likely been around in one form or another since dinosaurs roamed the earth hundreds of millions of years ago.
But however, water scarcity is an abstract concept to many and a stark reality for others. The following report was filed by Newsfirst Shamira Suleen and Zulfikar Farzan on the United Nations World Water Day, which falls on the 22nd of this month.
Some 1.1 billion people in developing countries have inadequate access to water. 2.6 billion people lack basic sanitation. Some 1.8 million children die each year as a result of diarrhea. Fresh water makes up a very small fraction of all water on the planet. While nearly 70% of the world is covered by water, only 2.5% of it is fresh. The rest is saline and ocean-based. Even then, just 1% of our fresh water is easily accessible, with much of it trapped in glaciers and snowfields. In a sense, only 0.007% of the planet's water is available to fuel and feed its 6.8 billion people. Water is life. Wherever they are, people need water to survive. The United Nations, which plays an active role in the world to protect and manage water resources, say that every country has to take an active role in preserving water basins for the future generations.
Well, there are certain areas that are really drought, like very dry. So the water management in those areas has to be in a different type. And there are certain areas like you have all kind of floodings and different other related water issues. And there are certain areas where there are a lot of industrial pollution. So that those areas the water management is a different way you need to have.
According to experts, Sri Lanka is far from being affected by a water crisis. However, if the country does not manage its water resources, the island nation will be no exception.
Sri Lanka, I don't think there's a problem. I think what we have got is a challenge. Because we are in tropics, we have plenty of rain coming through monsoons and all that. Luckily we have 103 river basins taking water all over the place, and significant amount of recharging of our groundwater. But the management of that is a problem.
Urgently resolving key issues such as access to safe water, efficient and sustainable use is likely to involve a number of actors, including governments, corporations, activists and local people who directly feel the implications of decisions made in fancy corporate offices and luxurious international meeting venues. Without understanding or common goals, the environment, the lives of people and prospects for a healthy future are at risk. Shamira Suleen reporting with Zulfikar Farzan, the Newsfirst, Colombo.
Tonight on our special segment, in view of World Water Day 2013, we take a look at the impact water has on the very existence of the planet.
443 million school days are lost each year from water-related illness. Millions of women spend several hours a day collecting water. Lack of water means loss of school time for many children across the globe. According to the United Nations, water use has grown at more than twice the rate of population increase in the last century. By 2025, an estimated 1.8 billion people will live in areas plagued by water scarcity, with 2/3 of the world's population living in water-stressed regions as a result of use, growth and climate change. While the amount of fresh water on the planet has remained fairly constant over time, continually recycled through the atmosphere and back into our cups, the population has exploded. This means that every year competition for clean supply of water for drinking, cooking, bathing and sustaining life intensifies. The United Nations says that water-based pollution has resulted in a number of disease spreading in the developing world.
Well, if you talk about the quality of life, I think that's the biggest impact. Say if you have a kid who is sick because you consume something with pollution, and then the whole family, so your kid can't go to school, you can't go to work, and then it scaled up to the national level.
The chairman of the National Water Supply and Drainage Board, the state institution that is vested with the responsibility of distributing clean drinking water to the general public, says that waste management should be streamlined to ensure that the existing water resources are protected.
Other challenges that we have facing is the water pollution by agrochemicals and pesticides and weedicides used in agriculture sector. This is prevalent in north central provinces and the eastern provinces. So this is another one challenge. So we are working with the Agriculture Ministry and the Ministry of Irrigation and Water Management to sort out these issues.
Due to geography, climate, engineering, regulation and competition for resources, some regions seem relatively flush with fresh water, while others face drought and debilitating pollution. According to experts, the challenge the globe faces now is how to effectively conserve, manage and distribute the water we have without contributing to its pollution. The health and economic impacts of today's global water crisis are staggering. It's time to act now for a better tomorrow. Shamir Rasuldeen reporting with Zulfiq Farzan for Newsfirst, Colombo.